Hello, my name is Max and I have a problem. In my humble opinion, the Fitbit Versa 2 sucks. I love its idea. I think the hardware is good, but after wearing it for a year and a half, I put on my old Pebble Time Steel from 2015 and I haven't looked back. Let's get into it. So while I go on about my Versa, I'm going to be replacing the screen protector and the wristband for my Pebble because they're both pretty tatty at this point. For some background, I bought the Versa 2 in late 2020 when the Versa 3 came out because the Versa 3 didn't have a physical button and seemed to be a minor upgrade over the 2. It replaced my Pebble, that replaced my second gen Moto 360. I love smartwatches, and it's been really frustrating to see such a lack of innovation and diversity in this space over recent years. These two are great because they have battery life measured in days, not hours. You can just take them out for a weekend trip, go visit family or visit friends, or, just use it on a day-to-day basis. Use it to measure how well you sleep. And you don't have to worry about charging it the next morning or forgetting your charger at home, so you don't you don't have to buy like multiple chargers to make sure that you've got one with you at all times so you can just charge it up whenever. When you take a shower, you just take it off and let it charge for those 15 minutes, and when you get out of your shower, you're done. You're good. Don't take 15-minute long showers. That's just the whole process of taking a shower. Look, I'm not trying to get on a whole thing here, but when the Pebble came out, it was a big stinking deal. And I know that like the Pebble Time series is really when Pebble as a company started to decline, but I think this is one of the best smartwatches out there. Yes, it's old. Yes, it lacks features that the Fitbit Versa has, but the thought that went behind the software and the hardware and the way that everything kind of worked together is great. One thing that you'll notice just looking at all these smartwatch faces, this screen is on, but only barely. This screen is entirely off, and this guy is on. You can read the Pebble at any point in time. You shake it or twist it to turn on a backlight, and the screen acts like a light amplifier. You actually can always read the time on this, regardless of whether it's day or night or bright sunshine or whatever. Whereas the Fitbit Versa and especially the Moto 360, they may have always on components, but those significantly hamper battery life. It just makes it not as good a device and not as good of a service to use. Okay, so battery life is a whole thing, right? But beyond that, there are quality of life things that happen in the Pebble that just straight up don't exist on the Fitbit Versa. So for the Versa, it's a totally locked-in ecosystem. To my understanding, it works the same whether you're on iOS or on Android. The reason it works the same on either of those is because it's very locked in to what it is supposed to do. For example, there's a Spotify app for the Fitbit Versa. Great, I use Tidal. I can't control my Tidal media controls using my Fitbit Versa. I can control any media using my Pebble. There's a shortcut key, I just press and hold, and it brings up a way to go forward a track, backward a track, increase volume, play, pause, all that stuff. It's great. Again, physical buttons, they're really nice. You just press and hold. You bring up the smartwatch, or the stopwatch, I should say. Is it a touchscreen? No, but it doesn't need to be. It's so rare to accidentally press one of these buttons, whereas I would often find myself changing the background on my Moto 360. I get really revved up about this crap. The Fitbit technically has a capability to go in and modify music settings. So if I swipe down from the top, there's a little music icon. And if I tap on it, it says connect to phone. Pair your phone in your settings app under Bluetooth. Why? Why would I need to do that? So like it's already paired to my phone, right? Like I can control it using the app. It's connected as a Bluetooth device, but this is connecting over a different Bluetooth frequency, I guess, for it to control the media. When I switch to that, battery life on the Fitbit goes from 4 days to 1 day, maybe a day and a half. Never been a problem for the Pebble. Okay, anyway, so and again, right? Like I know that there are feature differences here. You've got an oximeter, you've got a heart rate monitor, you've got all kinds of things in here. This guy, just steps. Just movement. Theoretically, there was a possibility back here with these guys to have different things built into the straps, but I never got any of that. Like I said, it's not perfect to go from a device made in, more recent years to something made in 2015. There's going to be feature disparity between the two. And when Fitbit acquired Pebble, I had hopes that they were going to bring over some of the features from the Pebble watches, the customization, the ability to do things, and bring all of that over to their Versa. They didn't. It's a competitor in the same space, but if these two devices had hardware parity and were made in the same year, I'd pick the Pebble any day. Pebble OS, or Rebel OS as they're now calling it, with their indie developers who have been working on it, is hands down significantly better than Fitbit OS. Okay, that's a long rant. That's a lot going into that, so let me just get this guy You can see how there's a little bit of this chipped out of the bottom here. There's a bunch of little scratches on the plastic of the screen. I'm just gonna start by peeling that off. I actually used to have a screen protector on my Fitbit, but because of the way that the glass curves on the sides, it peeled up really easily. After putting it on 3 or 4 times, I just kind of gave up. Fortuitously, either they are making them or they're still just generally available, these IQ screen protector things. So let's just double check the instructions here. Look at this, leaving a review is easy. You know what you should do? Give this video a like. You should maybe hit subscribe, hit that bell icon to get notified. You know what I'm saying? Like little things that are good for you. You're not supposed to be showing that. Share it with your friends. You know, if they like this kind of stuff, then maybe, you know, if you like this stuff, maybe they'll like it. It's good for you. Okay, get this guy shut down. I've done this a couple times before, but it's always good to refresh one's memory when doing it for the first time in a long time. I'm supposed to spray on some of this stuff here. Let's pull off one of these liners. I'm supposed to spray it liberally on both sides. Let's get that nice and on there. Now we want to use the squeegee. We're using the squeegee to press out little gaps, little things in there. If you have any kind of device with a screen on it, I highly recommend you get some kind of a screen protector. Again, I've really only had this Fitbit for maybe about 1.5 years. I don't know if you can see this in the camera, maybe if I can get a nice little thing on it, but this screen is perfectly clean and there are scratches all over it. Like it's on your wrist, it's gonna get dumped around. It's gonna hit things, it's gonna get banged up, and you wanna protect that if you care about it, which I clearly don't. Which I do care about, but it was hard to do. So now I'm squeegeeing out the liquid from one side, and I'm squeegeeing it out the other. This is looking pretty good here. You can see there's still some liquid on the top. The next set of the instructions is to press and hold from the top to ensure adhesion. So I'm just holding it down. All right, that looks great. Let's replace the band on this. A lot of watch bands that you find on analog watches like this guy don't have the little notch down here that allows you to quickly and toollessly remove the watch band. On some kind of like analog watches like this guy, like this Timex, you don't have that, and you have to use a tool in order to pry the bar out to replace the band. They really don't stick out that much, but they're just enough so you can get your nail under there to pry in one of the corners. Because I always get the different sides of these guys confused, I'm just gonna do them one at a time. So first, I pull off the long edge, and I'm just gonna stick that guy in there and pull in this lever. Oops. That's been swapped. I'm gonna do the same thing for the other side. Pull that out. There we go. There we go. Now it looks like a new watch. Looks great. Now again, right, I just want to be clear, like I'm not, like obviously this watch is also going to be a pain to replace the battery on. My understanding is that it is possible, and there are a lot of guides out there. Basically, you just pry up around the edge and pop the screen off, and then you can go in there and put in the new thing. So it's something that I may do, but the battery still lasts me 4 or 5 days. And I just I haven't had a need to replace the battery yet on this. Thank you all for joining me on this slightly off topic and slightly unusual path while we upgraded the appearance of my Pebble and took a verbal dump on the Fitbit Versa 2. If you like this video, hit the like button. Let me know what your favorite smartwatch is. Are you concerned about the direction that these companies are taking their products? From being kind of more interesting devices that allow you to do what you want with them to being significantly locked down and like not doing your stuff? I'm projecting here, right? That's a leading question. You should write your own comment about what it is that you want to talk about. I got links in the description to the Watchband and the thing. Again, not that I'm getting paid for them, but just like if you've got a Pebble, like you should, I mean, you know, you can always just do a search for it. But so far, this actually looks quite nice and feels pretty good. So I think this will last me a long time. Thank you all for joining me. Goodbye. But beyond that, there are just small quality of life things that happen in the Pebble that I love that just straight up don't exist on the Fitbit Versa.